Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to use Zoom to record different types of videos. So to start off with, I'll use the front facing camera, which is what I'm doing now, so that you can see your face. Now this is quite useful if you want to upload a lesson where you're doing something like a story so that the children can see me while you're reading to them, or if you're doing something like phonics where you'll need to show them the actions as well as the sound. This is also really useful if you use Makaton in your teaching, so that meanwhile you're going through something, they'll be able to see the actions as you're going along. Following that, I'll move on to sharing a screen. This is really useful if you're going to use software such as PowerPoint or Notebook or any other application that you would use meanwhile doing in front of the class teaching. Now this will mirror what they'll normally see on a smartboard or on the screen at the front of your room. And what I'll do is I will show you how you can do this with a little image front facing camera at the side, so that if you want the children to see you as you're going along, you can do that. And then what I'll do is I'll also show it so that the only thing that will be shown on the recording is the actual shared screen itself. So if you are using PowerPoint and you want to show an image on the screen, like say it's a calculation like 35 plus 67, and you're going to show them how to use the column addition, all that will be on the screen is that actual question, not your face. Okay, I'll switch over to show you how to start using Zoom to record a video. So on your screen you'll have the icon for Zoom, and you need to double click to open the app. Once you're in the app, you will click on Start a New Meeting. Because you've not been invited to a meeting and you're not inviting anyone else, the only person in this meeting will be you. So you click and you can see that you are on the screen there now. Okay, at this point what you're going to do is you're going to go down to the bottom of the screen and you're going to see that you can click record. If you want to share a screen such as a PowerPoint, then when you are pressing record you click on share screen. You then can click your full screen if you want to go across a variety of different screens, or you can pick the one screen you want to share. So I'm going to click on the screen because that's the easiest, and you'll see it shows the full screen. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how you can share your screen and have the front facing camera at the same time, and you'll see you get that option by leaving this screen on in the corner, and then what I'll do is I'll move on to showing you what it's like without the front facing camera. So if you want the front facing camera, you leave that image there. So what I've done now is I've now flipped over to the image that you see when you're recording on Zoom. So this is now my screen with the Zoom recording. Now remember, I shared the full screen rather than just one window. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go down to the bottom and I'm going to share the PowerPoint, because that is the application or the software that I'm going to use to teach my lesson. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click from the beginning. And at this point you can see I've left my front facing camera up, so I want the children to see my face while I'm going through this at this point. So I've got my learn objective I'm going to share. I've got a sort of definition at the front. Now, the benefit of having the front facing camera on at this point is if you use Makaton, you can go and use Makaton at this point, or if you wanted to have some visual aids, I mean, I've got a calculator, that's not really going to help, but you could hold something up to help them if it was appropriate for the lesson. And again, you can go through. So if you wanted to really engage for the kids to see your face at this point, as well as having the text that's on the screen, that's quite useful. So if you're quite animated, then you can do that at the same time. And some people really enjoy doing that. Of course, other people like it where you've just got the voiceover, which I'll do in a minute. So what I'll do is I'll move on and I'll show you how we can use the PowerPoint so you can be interactive at the same time. So I've got a question on the screen. So the reminder from the definition earlier, a prime number only has two factors, one in itself, and then you can go through and you can see the numbers on the screen. So I'm going to model how they can do this. So I'll show you two different tools that you can use in PowerPoint. The first one is going to be a pen. So you select the color. So let's say we're going to use red, and we're going to make sure we've got the pen on there. So we're going to just click on the screen and we'll go through and we'll say, well, knowing our rules about multiples, we know that 3 does not have any factors. So therefore we know that 3 is a prime number. because it's only divisible by itself and 1, so it's only got 2 factors. We can then do the same with 11. We know that 11 doesn't have any other factors, it's only got 11 and 1, so it's only got the 2 factors. We can then look at 18, we can say, well, actually, if we look at 18, we know that it ends with an 8, therefore it's a multiple of 2. We can also apply other rules to it as well, so we know that actually 1 add 8 equals 9, so it's a multiple of 9. It's also a multiple of 3, because multiples 3 and digits total 3, 6, and 9. And we can say, well, it's an even multiple of 3, so it's also a multiple of 6, so it's definitely got more than 2 factors, so we can cross that one out. If you were going through this and you thought, hang on a sec, it'd be far better if we used a highlighter rather than a pen, you could show the children how to do this as well. So here you can pick the highlighter and you can say, well, we're going to look at 15 next, which is not a prime number. So we can say that we know 15 is not a prime number because 1 plus 5 is 6. Therefore, it is a multiple of 3. So it's got the factors 1, 15, and 3. It also ends with a 5. So we know that it's also got the factor of 5. So we can highlight that in red because we know 15 is not a prime number. We know that 21, 2 add 1 is 3, therefore it's got a factor of 3, so it's got at least 3 factors, 1, 21, and 3. Now we can move on to 23. Now, following our knowledge, we know that actually it doesn't have any other factors, so we know that 23 is a prime number, so we can highlight that in green there. Now, if we look at number 1, although it doesn't have any other factors, we know that for it to be a prime number, it has 2 factors. Therefore, we can highlight the 1 in red. So what I've done there, I'll not go through the rest because this isn't really about the teaching. I've shown you how you can use a pen and how you can use a highlighter. And at that point, you can then have another screen up where you've got some other numbers for the kids to go through, and you can maybe pause it at that point. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop the video and I'm going to flip back to my phone and I'm going to show you how you can do a voiceover rather than doing one where you've got your face. So remember, I said if you want the front facing camera, you need to have this box open so that they can see you as you're talking to them as you're going through. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on the little minus button on the Zoom tab, and what will happen is it'll just leave it and it'll just say talking. So this is what's shown on your screen. And what I'll do is I'll flip back to the Zoom video now, and you'll see that actually all that will happen is it'll just show this full screen. It won't actually show my face. Okay, so I'll flip over there now. So what I've done now is I've went back to the Zoom screen. Now, although as I just showed you on my phone that it says talk and it's got my name, you can't see that now that I've taken away the front facing camera. So at this point you can talk through the question, and what I'll do is I'm just going to click on laser pointer and you'll see that this comes up on the screen. So it says, what is the sum of the next 2 prime numbers in the following sequence? So I can go through and I can say, well, no, 23 is a prime number, then 29, and it goes 31, 37. So I can talk through them at this point. I say, well, we know the next number after 37 is 38, but we know that ends with an 8. Therefore, it's a multiple of 2, so it's got at least 3 factors, making it not a prime number. We know that after 38 is 39. 3 plus 9 is 12, 1 plus 2 equals 3, so therefore 39 is a multiple of 3, so that is also not a prime number because it's got at least 3 factors. 40 we know ends with a 0, so therefore it's an even number, making it a multiple of 2. It ends with a 0, so therefore it's a multiple of 10, so we know that 40 is also not a prime number. Next up we have 41, and we know that 41 doesn't tie in with any of the rules of multiples, so therefore 41 has 2 factors, itself and 1, so we can put on the next number, which is 41. We know that 42 ends with a 2, therefore it is a multiple of 2, and so it's got at least 3 factors, so we can rule out 42, and we then know the next number is 43, and that doesn't tie in with any of our multiplication knowledge, therefore we know the next prime number would be 43. So at this point it says, what is the sum? So you can underline, you can say, well, we know that sum means that it's an addition, because that is what the word sum means. So we can put the add symbol down, and we know that the numbers are 41, we've got the symbol plus, 43, and because we're not bridging 10, because of the level of the work, you wouldn't expect the kids to struggle with this. You talk through the fact that you know that 1 plus 3 gives you the 4, the 40 plus the 40 gives you the 80, therefore you've got the answer 84. So you can see that at this point you've got the screen shown, you've shown them how to do it, you've explained how to go through the question. You can then move on to give them questions they can do. You can say at this point, do you want to pause the recording and go through the answers? And then afterwards, after giving it a couple of seconds, you might want to go through and say, well, we know the answer's this. Again, on another screen, you can show them something like this is a factor tree, and you can go through and explain how to do that. So that is how you can share a screen and do a voiceover so that it doesn't have a front-facing camera, and that sometimes makes people feel more confident. So hopefully that's given you a flavour as to how you can use Zoom to record some videos to help do some teaching online. And now I do apologise for how clunky this video has been, and also for the speed of which I went through some of the examples on the PowerPoint, because obviously it wasn't teaching, it was aimed at just showing you how to use some of the resources. So I wouldn't have flown through if it was one of the teaching videos for the kids and explained, well, 40 isn't a prime number, it's got these factors, 41 is a prime number because it's only got 2 factors, 42 is not a prime number because it's got these factors, and 43 is a prime number. Obviously I would have went a bit slower, maybe had some different visuals online as well, but it was more aimed at showing you how to use a laser pointer, how you can use the pen, and how you can use the highlighter. If people would like to see how you can use Smart Notebook, I'll be happy to do that at another point, but that'll be for another video. I will be uploading some other videos to show you how you can then upload these videos onto YouTube, and also how you can use Windows Movie Maker just to trim the different clips together, so that actually you can have different recordings put together to make one video, or if your video is too long, how you can trim it. Okay, thank you, take care.